Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I had a really bad day. I had a panic attack during a driving lesson, and I basically said, like, I need to stop here, and started crying. What happened yesterday is that I met a new therapist, and I'd been looking forward because I'd been on a waiting list for 3 months, and he was supposed to be the best psychotherapist in this town, and I do not like him. Okay. So I'm either a really, really stubborn, annoying person for not liking this guy, or everybody else is wrong. I'd rather believe that everybody else is wrong. Okay. I don't know. This guy is really old, 71 years old, has a lot of experience. I did not vibe with this guy. I suspect he might be an ENFP, or he might be an INFJ, but I don't think he's an INFJ. It seems he was falling into a bunch of conclusions. And it was kind of like he was interrupting me, like coming up with these theories. He wanted to know what my goal for therapy was, which I did not have one because I hadn't come prepared, for that question. My goal was just to feel better, I hadn't thought up a goal. And also he wanted to know why I was anxious or why I was depressed. And it's then we have to go all the way into my childhood history and my parents and attachment styles, and it was a lot for 40 minutes, and I was saying a bunch of stuff, and he was saying a lot of things that were right about me in my life, but I did not feel safe around this person, I felt like everything I was saying was judged. And yes, therapists have to analyze the stuff that I say and listen, but I didn't feel like he was listening. He was just I would say a sentence and he'd go into his psychological mumble jumble in his head and say a deep concept, and I'd be all I said was that I have trouble doing things in public, or I have trouble getting up in the morning, and he'd get make an assumption, which yes was correct, but also it's a little bit insensitive. I know that he wanted to, this was a starter meeting to figure out what my problems were and how we should help these and go quickly through this because we only have 12 sessions. But I can't go that fast. If we have to stop in the middle because the 12 sessions have gone, then so be it. But I can't go that deep within the first half hour of meeting somebody, and I can't make decisions that quickly, and I felt like he was pushing me, and he said that he was just throwing theories out, and they can be true or not, and they were mostly true, but it's yeah, I did not click with this guy. Tons of people, my supervisor, my boss, my doctor, they all say that he's the best. But I think that he's just stuck up. I yes, he could read a lot from me, and that was a little bit scary, but like that's not the thing that is pushing me away from this guy. What is pushing me away is that he did not allow me time for reflection, which I kind of need in order to like figure things out a little bit. And it's okay if we don't come to any answers, you know. I need to talk things through. And so I felt not really great afterwards. I went back to work and stuff, and but this morning I woke up and I cried. And I was like, why am I crying? And then I realized, yeah, maybe I am deeply disturbed, you know? Like, maybe I can't relate to people. Maybe I'm autistic after all, you know? Maybe I'm borderline, you know? Maybe there are lots of... Maybe I'll never relate to other people. Maybe I'll never get better, you know? And yeah, and I started my morning like that. I ended up coming 20 minutes late for work because I got like stuck when I was doing the like morning routines. Like, it was really important for me for some reason to brush my teeth for 3 minutes and to choose pick out the right things for my bag and prepare everything. And then my day went to shit anyway, you know. I tried so hard, I kept it going all day. I went to my desk, started crying some more. I did the telephone calls, met a patient who was really impatient and annoying. And then I hate her. Okay, it's not... It doesn't happen to me that I hate a person, but she just... I don't know if it's just her face, but she just is so displeased at anything that I say. And it's like, I'm just trying to help. She's just displeased. She's a primary school teacher, which unfortunately says a lot about her. She's not a very nice primary school teacher, I would imagine. But yeah, I don't usually talk like bad about my patients, but she was not the person that I went to meet today, you know, when I was already having a bad day. And she was berating me for things that like some other doctor did in 2008. And it's like, that's not my fault. But you know, sometimes patients think that they can unleash all their frustrations on me. And then I had another patient who had been promised by an occupational therapist that I would give her a cortisone injection, which I've never done in that particular place. And yeah, I did not give her a cortisone injection, which was obviously a disappointment for her, but what can you do? You know? So it's been a shit day. I went home. I did deal with a nosebleed, which was good, but it took me a whole hour to like figure out how to do it. And then during my coffee pause at 3, I said, oh, I had to deal with a nosebleed. Like, people were asking like, oh, how was your day? And so I had to deal with nosebleed, and it took me an hour because I didn't really know where the things were and how to do this because this was my first time. And then when the other doctor said, oh, but nosebleeds are like the easiest thing to deal with. And I was like, okay. And he said, well, sure, it's maybe difficult the first time. So he kind of rectified himself, but I did take it a little bit personally because I was already not having a good day. And, you know, it kind of questions my competency, you know, and it's like, well, yes, of course it's going to take me a long time if it's my first time. But, yeah, it made me sad. And then, I mean, I did the driving, and I think that the person I was driving with could see immediately that I was stressed out. So she was like already kind of like trying to placate me, like saying, okay, we go to the second, the second gear, and now we go into third gear. Make sure to do it like slow and fluidly, you know. And I was like not being fluid in my movements, you know. And we had just been driving for like 5 minutes, and I did not. I came into a crossing where I didn't know if I was supposed to stop or if I was supposed to go, and then the motor stopped, you know. And then I had to start up again, and I tried several times, and I was getting frustrated. And then she was like, okay, it's okay, we'll just take it next cross, like the next roundabout or whatever. And then we went to, and I just felt closer and closer to tears. And I was trying really hard. We ended up driving for like a good half hour. But then we stopped because we were by in the nature. I'd gone on a little gravel road. And then we stopped the car, and I don't know, I felt like she was being critical, but it's not her fault. She was just telling me like how to do things. But there I was sitting there, and she was telling me about nature, and I just started crying, and I said, I can't keep driving. I just can't. And she was like, are you sure, you know? And I was like, no, I couldn't. So then we talked a little bit about things. And she said, Ingrid, you always seem so happy and like doing your best for everybody, and you're having it tough, so like it's okay to take care of myself.